12:27, folks. Can we do this in 30 minutes tonight? It's Johnny I Spy. I'm here to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. How I can get you high. Just by sharing some clippings. And I'm not asking for any tippings. I'm just here to be your friend. To help you comprehend the full moon Leo. Yeah? We got a really cool podcast tonight, folks. And how it works out tonight, I'm going to get you this podcast really going, off the cuff, unedited. And I've already had my beer, so I'm just on my tea now, and then we're going to go to sleep and drive into the big city tomorrow. So, talking about big cities, we have 3 big cities in North America that we should really pay attention to over the days to come. Yes, we should pay attention to these 3 cities over the next 3 days to come. And why do I say that? I say that because it's going to be a full moon Leo. And it's going to be a full moon Leo at 5 degrees, I think 14 minutes. I have some charts drawn up. But what I thought to do is, because everyone does their same old, let's forecast the trends, and hopefully we'll comprehend what the full moon Leo has for its tail end. Yeah. Some ginger and turmeric tea for you. It's actually hot. Okay, I hope I slept well enough for you. Now here we go here, guys. What we have here is on clipping on the first. This article is for January 22nd, 2016, and what I've done is I went back through the years. There's not too many of them. We're talking about 2016, this is 2024, right? So we're talking about 8 years ago. The full moon Leo was very close to the degree it's going to be in just the days to come. And so what I did for you is I said, you know what? I mean, if we want to be precision astrologers, so if we really want to display our flair so the whole world cares, and understands we have no ribs to spare, right? Well, yeah. So here we go. Let's talk about this. The big story. What I decided to go with, because this is just one episode, right? So we gotta make it quick. If we decide to do more, we could do more. But here we go. Let's talk about full moon Leo. Let's dissect this moon and let's place the moon to the 3 Leo powerhouses of North America. I think that's, if this is going to be the new millennium zodiac, we got to go at it more in a precise manner. We can't just say we feel this and we feel that, or, my intuition says this. We're going to go with hardcore data that we could find online. And what we have here is we have the 3 cities of Leo that entertain North America. And that is Philadelphia, that is Chicago, and that's Los Angeles. And these are powerhouses. These are powerhouse cities. These are the Leo cities of North America. And there's other Leo towns, and I know of them, but these are the powerhouses. These are the big, million case scenario, population bases. People are just working and doing their jobs. So here we go, in a lion kind of way, right? And flair. They got flair, these 3 cities. So we got for Philadelphia and surrounding area, the blizzard. The blizzard is the thing, right? If we want to blow it up, I don't think it will blow up this way. If we want to blow it, the massive blizzard buries the East Coast, and this is just on the eve. If this storm falls on the eve, and here we are. Cities across the East Coast, from the Carolinas to Massachusetts, are digging out after a massive blizzard over the January 23rd, 24th, 2016 weekend. 7 states and Washington, D.C. declare states of emergency. By Monday morning, January 25th, 2016, the storm, dubbed Snowzilla, killed at least 32 people in 10 states and the District of Columbia. and District of Columbia, including at least a dozen who suffered heart attacks while shoveling snow. Heart attacks while shoveling snow. That's why I keep on going, right? I keep on going. I got my turmeric tea here, Don't smoke cigarettes. Barely smoke at all. Barely drink. We're now climbing those stairs every day. We gotta climb those stairs every day. So here we go. Yeah. There's here we're in New York, and it just scrolls 26. There's that magic 26, by the way. Here you go. 26.6 inches of snow. That's like 2 feet in Central Park on Saturday. Saturday. That's Saturn, right? They were shoveling because it was Saturn Day, right? Saturn, the accumulation. That's Saturn, right? Yeah. Overall accumulation is 26.8. That's like double 8, and then 2 8s together. 8 plus 8 is 16, which is 7 again. And 7 would be that that Libra house. Yeah, New York City. Look at New York City. Look at it. It's and it's being an Aquarius time, right? I mean, ankles. Look at it. It's up to the ankles. You got the shots. This is the Sagittarius, and then here's moving down into the Aquarius part of the body, and here's Pisces right here. So here we go. I mean, this is it, guys. This is the news of the day, of that day, and we have a chart to look at, right? We absolutely have a chart to look at. Now we move over. That's Los Angeles, but that's on the other side of the. Let's move over to. Now this story is exactly for 9:56 a.m. January 23rd, 2016. 3 men killed. Here we go. Hotel shooting happening early Saturday. Hotel shooting happening early Saturday at the Hyatt Regency at 2233. Isn't that amazing? That's like 4, and this is 6. It's 6 and 4. You can read it. That's like 10, which is actually 1, right? And then we have another 4 over here. But yeah, it's 2:20 a.m. Look at this. We should do the chart for this. We could actually do the chart for this. This is such a great time. But here we go. Identified a 26-year-old. 26-year-old. Here we go again. What is it with this 26 number? Why is it coming up so much lately? I mean, it's everywhere. I see it everywhere. So this is what we have. This is the major league story in Chicago. This is what basically was leading the day. And it's that 3 thing, 3 men killed. Okay, so now when we look at Saturday, or not Saturday, but now we look on the West Coast, because this is the final Leo city, right? So we got some really interesting headlines. I mean, you got the Oscars, and it's all about performances. It's that Leo stuff, rain, snow, and drought. Make a dent in drought. I mean, and as I said, we cannot forget when the moon is in Leo, and the moon's in Leo, the Earth is in Leo, and the sun's in Aquarius, right? The moon and the Earth are sharing a spot in Leo. And look at this. Look at the stories. So the stories actually, doctors turn sleuths to solve historical deaths. Dreamer heads home, but home proves elusive. Elusive, that's that Mercury word. And there's a lot of blurry type, but I just want to look at these headlines, right? Because the headlines are important because the stories. I mean, the stories, you can build the stories. You can read the stories later, but here we go. Donald Trump and Ted Cruz attacking dueling TV ads to win over Iowa. Look at this, Iowa. I mean, it's this 2016 thing, right? I've already done the squares. Remember the squares of Jupiter and Saturn? It's turning out to be a really good playlist here. So, yeah, Casino will plead guilty. There is all kinds of stuff here. And this is the full moon, okay? Dancing grief away. I mean, Leo, it's a whole entire Earth in Leo. It's a whole entire Earth in Leo and Moon in Leo kind of headline kind of day here, for sure. Check it out. So let's look at the charts, okay? let's move forward. We've seen the headlines. Now this is going to be this year. These are this year's charts. We got Philadelphia. We got Aries on the ascendant for Philadelphia, 29 degrees, 18 minutes. It wants to be a Taurus ascendant. There's going to be a Taurus overlap. There's going to be a Jupiter. There's absolutely going to be a Jupiter in Taurus and Uranus in Taurus for the first house for Philadelphia on this. And then there's a Chiron here in Aries. We've got these great charts because we're going to look at these. We're going to come back and we're going to look at these clippings, okay? We're going to be precision astrologers. If my mentor, Rudy Garcia, who taught me how to be a detail-aholic to the bone, on Delancey Place in Philadelphia, not too far from Rittenhouse Square, if he was teaching me astrology, this is how I've found my motivation. You know, this guy, he really gave it to me. He let me know this is what you should do, right? Keep on sharpening that knife every day, right? And every day, more charts, right? We got time. Computers do fast work. So when we look at these charts, for Philly, we got Aries on the ascendant and Libra on the descendant. We got the Sun in the 10th house. And yes, I made a mistake on this one, folks. When we go back to Philadelphia, 1 minute difference. That's all it's going to be. There's going to be 1 minute on the ascendant and 1 minute for the moon as well. So this would be 10:54 instead in 31 minutes to be 14. I moved. Actually, this one's actually quite a bit out here. This is at 4 degrees. This one's quite a bit out here. Might be even an hour out. I don't know how that happened. Excuse me, please. That messes up this whole tire. It will be over. It would probably be more. Here's the 25th here. I mean, what we can do here to show you how fast we can actually fix this podcast, we could pull this out. Here's the Astro Gold, and so what we'll do is we'll select at this chart, and we'll go here. This way you can see how you actually work in Astro Gold. So we got full moon Leo. Kileo, full moon Kileo. Okay, so, and we go looking at 25. Going to Pennsylvania, Philadelphia. Went too far. I'm so sorry. Select. Okay. It's a little painstaking, but it works. Okay. Now we're gonna go to Philadelphia, right? Or Philadelphia, where I went to university, at 1622 Chestnut Street. That's where I went to school. There we go. Right there, right across from One Liberty Place. And that's what we find in astrology. We find liberty, right? So Maple, and there's always learning. Right? Because we're building our clairvoyancy. We're always building our clairvoyancy on things. So, Philadelphia. Here we go, right up here. So as I said, this thing's kind of Philadelphia. Like, it's weird, eh? I don't know why it's like this. It's absolutely Philadelphia State Hospital for us crazy people, right? Us crazy people that follow astrology. Philadelphia. I don't know why it's going to be Philadelphia, but that's what we'll do. Okay? And it's going to be, let's calculate it. Let's see how far off that is. For the calculation, we will bring this up here, and then we'll slide it like this. It's kind of wonky this way. Okay, so here we go. The moon, this is January 12th. Let's change this to 23rd. My fault. Okay, here we go. So where are we at? We're at, moon's only at Cancer here, eh? 7 a.m. It's like, is this really right? is this right for this chart? Let's take a look here. This is the 24th. And this is actually going to be the 25th. Because what I've done here, I'm going to show you here. I'm going to show you this. This one's going to be right. This moon right here, sun, yeah. Because this is really fascinating, guys. Because this is just 2 days earlier than this chart right here. And that's why I went with this. This is why it doesn't work. Edit chart. It's the 25th. And calculate where we at. Moon's only 2 degrees out, so about edit chart. This is really good. I don't want it to get plain because it plays pretty fast, right? So we're gonna add 2 hours onto that. Calculate moon. I'm gonna select it. We're almost there. Edit chart. 12. Calculate. No, I went the wrong way. My fault. 15 p.m. Calculate. Yeah, we're almost there now. We're only like an hour out. Calculate. Yeah, where are we at now? We overshot, right? We overshot by 15 minutes. So edit chart. Calculate. 12. 50. Close. Look at this. We're almost out. We're only like edit chart. Let's add 2 minutes onto that game. Right? 2 minutes onto the game. 52. It's a little bit the long way of doing this. I'm so sorry about this. Right? Almost. One more. Edit chart. It's going to be 1 more minute. 3. Calculate. There you go. Perfect. That gives us a Gemini ascendant. So this is Philadelphia, January 25th, 2024. Okay, this is what we got here. So we're going to look at this. I mean, we're going to have, it makes more sense, right? But we have the moon in Leo, right? The moon's going to be in Leo. See, this is easy for me because I am a sun in Leo, right? And my sun in Leo is in the 3rd house. And it's 2 degrees 34 minutes. So this particular full moon will be just 3 degrees. This one will be, we should watch how Arnold Schwarzenegger plays on this one, because this full moon will, we should like follow Arnold Schwarzenegger or any other well-known Leos and see how they're doing, because like Jason Statham, Kevin Spacey, Sandra Bullock, Mick Jagger, all these people were born really close to this moon in Leo. And then we could actually look at what was going on in their lives back in 2016, because I did a light dig with the 2016 dates, right? So this is what we have, so you can see that. That's what we have for Philadelphia. Fortunately, they're not all screwed up, only that one. Okay, here's that full moon in Leo we just did, so you just got to get to see it. You just got to see a good demo of how you set that up for that astral gold. And as I said, I mean, I'm really picky. The only thing I don't like is that you have to go like that to see where the retrogrades are and what have you. Of course, it's retrograde, right? I mean, this is the 25th. This is here. We're at the 26th. This is the thing is Jupiter's at 6 degrees. When we go back to 2016, let's go back to 2016. Let's look at Philadelphia. So Los Angeles, Philadelphia. What do we have for Philadelphia? Let's zoom up. Let's do our work, because we saw what they had was a big blizzard, right? They had record snow, lots of snow. El Nino was serving it up that year, right? January 23rd, 2016, moon in Leo at 3 degrees, 2 degrees, just like it's only like a day and a half away from each other. The full moon period is only a day and a half away because they got this 28-day cycle for the moon, right? And we got Moon in Leo in the Aquarius, right? Okay, as we said before, Aquarius is a cold place. Leo is a warm place. That's why all my stuff, all my notes are for free because I'm open and sharing. Leo is an extrovert with an introvert, right? But Aquarius is more of an introvert, in your head kind of person, right? But Leo, is very extroverted during his day, and then when he goes home, he basically goes over his life in an introverted way, in looking at things, right? Looking at the play of the day, right? This is what makes Leos excellent astrologers, right? So when we look at this day, we have to, especially for Philadelphia, because they all had record snow, we have to recognize the fact, even though the moon and the earth was in Leo, because the earth would have been in this Aquarius house as well, and Aquarius is the heart of winter, right? And it was definitely wintry that day, all over the East Coast, or record winter, right? And then here we have, look at Uranus. Uranus is actually in a Scorpio house, and he's in Aries. Even though he's, look at the beautiful thing about this is that the sun is absolutely in Aquarius, which is a cold spot too. So here we have, and there's Pallas Athena, but look at that day for Philadelphia. And then we have Virgo on the ascendant, and Jupiter. Massive amounts of snow, right? But it's Jupiter in retrograde, opposed a water house, right? And he's at 22 degrees. Look at this, guys. He's at 22 degrees, Virgo, right? And Chiron is at 18 degrees. They said people had died of a heart attack from shoveling snow, right? I shouldn't be laughing. I really shouldn't be. But it's just, it's so, so idyllic, right? It's a waning opposition, right, between the two. And then here we have Neptune. Neptune's just 8 degrees into Pisces, right? And as you know, Neptune stays for what seems like forever in Pisces, in each sign, right? So he's at 8 degrees. Is there an inconjunct? Do we have an inconjunct, Phil? Ceres would have been inconjunct. Jupiter, right? 28 degrees. It's a light inconjunct. It's not, it would be in opposition of 22 degrees Virgo, right, Ceres? But now we have the sun, as I said, but Palestina, everything looks, we have lots of winter planets, right? We have Venus and Mercury in Capricorn, then Pluto in Capricorn as well, all in the 4th house, right, which is ruled by the moon. And there's lots of snow, lots of water. So there we go. In 3rd house communication, that's pretty much what we have there for that 2016 date. Good thing I didn't mess up all the charts. And then for California, or not California, but now for Chicago, okay? Moon and Leo, same thing. We still have, because it's just a couple hours over, right? So comparing the two charts, there's Los Angeles, okay? Comparing the two charts, we can see the difference between Philadelphia of the time of the full moon and then California, right? Watch. California, zoom up, 10 degrees difference. We have Jupiter in the 1st house, the first one, and you can see it's just deeper into the 1st house and on that cusp. But, it's still 8 degrees. It's still 8 degrees away from Libra, right? And Sun's still in the 11th house of Uranus, right? 11th house of Uranus in Aquarius, right? With a Cancer overlap. It's just this water overlap, right? It's that timing stuff. And once again, you can think about, what's going on there, because you got Virgo and Pisces on because remember that the story, the leading story of that day was shooting, right? So we gotta look at Mars at. Mars is in Scorpio at 10 degrees. He's squared by Jupiter, right? And then look, there's Juno, you know, in Scorpio as well, right? And then you got Saturn in the fourth house, and then you got Venus in the fourth house as well. And then all these Capricorn planets, and then you have all this activity in the fifth house. But that seventh house, which is that Sickle and Venus house, that Saturn and Venus house, we have that, Chiron, the wounded, and then Neptune as well, right? Like the detectives, you remember the other. We'll go over to the other one because we were when we saw that other headline about the sleuths, right? So and then we have Uranus there, but look at the squares, right? We have a Uranus, that disruptive planet Uranus, is going to be sitting in square with Venus, right? There's a square with Venus. So why did they shoot each other? I mean, when you want to look at that headline, because that's the whole entire trick of this matter. It's like, 3 men were killed, including one gunned down. 3 men were killed, including one gunned down in the lobby of a hotel, McCormick Place, and a Loyola University student, was among 17 other people wounded in shootings across Chicago so far this weekend. Yep. Saturday, right? I mean, this is the Saturn day. It's Saturn day, right? The guy's 25 years old. He just finished his first Jupiter return, right? 25, he's just a kid. Someone pulled out a gun, shot him in the head, according to Chicago police and the Cook County. Cook County. Get it? Cook County Medical Examiner's Office, right? About 7 a.m. Officers responded to a call of shots fired at about 7 a.m. So let's go back and look at the chart again, because this chart of the full moon, see, this is where the inconjunct is very important. Because before the moon is opposition, the moon has to be inconjunct. 12 hours is a long ways, right? I mean, this stuff was going on. This energy was building up. That's the reason why this is so important. This is at 7 p.m. So this would have been 7:43 p.m. So this would be almost 13 hours later, right? So the moon would have, traveled X amount, but it would have been inconjunct the day beforehand. So that's that stressful inconjunct energy in the building up to even more, that whole chart opposition, because this is when the story is going crazy by this point at 7 p.m. I mean, the whole town knows about it, right? Very, very interesting chart. I mean, if you know what was going on. I knew exactly what I was doing these days, right? I mean, I was looking through my YouTube playlist and seeing what I had uploaded in that time period. And I was busy. I was doing that Leo thing during this. I was doing that Leo thing on my playlist. A lot different than that, but it was definitely all about shooting, right? Of course it's about shooting. I'm a photographer, especially weddings. Okay, so here we go. The Los Angeles one, okay? What we should do on the follow, because this is just a preamble, right? I mean, this will be a 3-episode event to cover these, because this is what we should do with these full moons, to be really, because the next time, on the next full moon, which will be, full moon Virgo, for that full moon Virgo, we will do the 3 most noted Virgo cities. I don't know how many Virgo cities are in the U.S., but we'll go, we'll find those Virgo cities and look at those headlines, and then come back and, reassess those headlines, because the planets are in different places, right? But there's something, but the thing is, the difference is, the most important part of this is when you look at this chart right here, when we look at this chart right here, we got to look, where's that Jupiter square Saturn, okay? Here's Jupiter, Because in 2016, Jupiter and Saturn do square each other. We've done a chart with this. Here we go. The square, see, the square is over now, right? The square he's in retrograde. Will he go back and find that? Will we find it? I think it's possible. I think Jupiter could be possible where Saturn's not in retrograde yet, but Jupiter will be in retrograde, and we should go back and see, because that square is very faint, right? It's very faint, like I mean, you can see the distance between them. It's like, 10 degrees, right? And I think with these smaller planets, you need at least, there's a maximum 5-degree warp, right? But I'm pretty certain Jupiter in retrograde will find, because Saturn is moving forward. So it's all it has to do, we could look forward in this year and see what day these two will square after this full moon. But you can look at the other, you can see what else is going on here with the chart, right? You can see where the squares are and what have you. You see where Mercury is. Mercury is got this funny angle to Uranus, that square. It's not quite a square, right? Capricorn and Aries, of course it's a square. It's a double square, right? Because you got two planets there, and they're all, Mercury is hanging out with that Hades guy for this, right? Mercury's hanging out with, and Mercury's in retrograde. And here's that Hades. Here's that. Well, Hades is an asteroid, right? Here's that Pluto. You know how Pluto is. That Pluto, Lord of Death. Lord of Wealth, Lord of Death. Flip side. There's a bright side and a dark side of every planet, as we know. But look at that. It's quite amazing when you look at this. But I really, this whole chart, Mars and Juno conjunction for this date. So these are the dates here. We've seen the headlines. It's really easy to find the headlines online. This is CBS News on this one. And this is LA Times. Look at the, here we are. And it's all El Nino, right? Look at this. It's like deja vu. It's like in the Matrix, guys, where we get to see that black cat again. So we can look at it. We can look at these headlines, and we have a couple days here, and we'll come back and we'll revisit. We will revisit this, and there's much more. I want to keep the video short, right? So let's look at the dates we have here, okay? To be good students, right? To be precise students, the used history that we have readily access to us. This history is extremely well accessible for us to make these observations, so we could become better students and to become better predictors. Because it's what we're going to do. Because here's Philadelphia. We have a moon in the 11th house in that Leo. This is for 2016. My fault. The 2025 date is right here in Philly. Okay? So this time we have Jupiter and Uranus in this 12th house of Neptune for this full moon. And then we have the moon. We have to look at Mercury, because Mercury is on the cusp. Mercury's on the cusp of the first house. There's Vista and Devotion. We have a retrograde. It's in retrograde status. Vista's in the retrograde status. We have Hades in retrograde as well in the second house. So we're really going to watch this, right? The moon. Oh my lord! No time for that stuff. I don't spend any time with those. To be quite honest with you, with all my chart interpretation, I look at my books. I look at my hard copies. And then I look at the news. This is what I do. And Juno's in retrograde. Pallas is moving along super fast. This is part of fortune. See, part of fortune here is the cross, right? So I really like to know what should we do about that, because I really like to see the Earth in the horoscope. Maybe I should write a script. Something to do. Napoleon figured out how much rock was in the pyramid complex in the course of an afternoon. I should be able to write a script before I die. That's that I like. So yeah, everything's pretty much direct motion. Uranus is still in retrograde. Uranus is the only large heavy body, so he's going to be the really one. He's going to be really the one to watch for this. And when we look at that 19-degree mark, the node is semi-sextile. It's not quite perfect. What else do we have? 19 degrees. Anything for 19 degrees? We have Juno, a trine with Uranus. Okay. But when we look, you got 15 degrees. What about 6 degrees? What's close to 6? We just have a sextile with Saturn. So Jupiter and Saturn, Saturn being Jupiter's yes man, Jupiter's the judge, Saturn is the, that sickle guy, right? Okay, off with his head. And Saturn's okay, 10th house, right? 10th house Saturn for that chart for Philadelphia. So we're going to come back to that chart. Okay, we're going to come back to that. We're going to save this so we know it's saved. Go right into documents. Go to this. All right. Just keep it short. It won't let me save, right? Whatever. No time to spend on that. Let's move to the next one. It's all got bugs, right? we're hardly there yet. Philadelphia, Chicago, okay. So we got Taurus. This is gonna be, because right here we have Aries. This is so important about these unequal houses. So for this, it wants to be Taurus, right? It wants to be Taurus. It's not going to be there until 4 more minutes. But this one is going to be 25 degrees. Look at this. This one's going to be 25. How many minutes out? It's, 1 hour out. 1 hour later. 25 degrees Taurus. It's just because of the positioning, right? It's the position of the Earth. And Taurus, where's Venus? Let's look at this, right? Because Taurus, this is a Taurus ascendant at 25 degrees. So that would be in that Capricorn house, or it's Capricorn decant of Taurus, right? So that'd be looking at, let's take a look at, it's almost like looking at Venus and Saturn in a completely different kind of way. But we have Venus to look at in the 8th house, okay, which is quite interesting because her native place, she's earthy, she's feeling pretty earthy in Saturn's house, right? She doesn't want it too much. And she's opposed to her home house, but it's a Scorpio house as well, right? So this is really fun this way. Then we got a Jupiter mix, and then Ceres is not too far away. We've got that Jupiter mix. So this is going to be very interesting for Chicago. This is going to be very interesting full moon to watch. This is the way we should do it. We should draw on the full moon. We should know where all the Leo cities are, and we should record those events. This is what the ancients would have done. Okay, and look at this 9th house thing. We have a really full 9th house. Whoops, my fault. Did I hurt your eyes? Okay, 9th house, Mercury, Capricorn overlap of a Jupiter 9th house. Don't say everything's going weird. I wasn't even playing with that. It's a really weird night tonight, guys. Holy cow! That full moon energy is coming around. I don't even know why Photoshop quit. I wasn't even using it. Okay, so next one is Los Angeles, Philadelphia. See Philadelphia. Look at this. Philadelphia is at Aries. Taurus is that much further north. It doesn't really show us the position of Chicago, but Chicago is that much further north. And then we got Aries on the ascendant again, but much earlier, right? Yeah, it's 29 degrees here. It's only 7 degrees in Los Angeles. So we really have to watch that Mars guy on this new moon, right? On this full moon. Because we have, Mars at 15 degrees. He's still going to be in a funky, an odd kind of square to Uranus, right? It's only about, well, it's almost 16 degrees. He wants to be 16. Uranus is just there. That's only 3 degrees out. And look at Mercury. Mercury's right there as well. So we really have to watch that Los Angeles news, right? I mean, because we know, this is how I want to do these podcasts for our full moon, new moon kind of events. I've been trying to think about the best way to do this, but this is the way we're going to do it. We're gonna cast 3 charts before the new moon, and then we're going to assess the happenings, and we're gonna give a good observation. We're gonna say this is strong, this is here. We should look for this, and this is what we should do. I mean, we have Aries on the ascendant, so that puts us looking at Mars in the 10th house, which is a cat. I mean, it's a full moon, right? Which is a Cancer Capricorn thing. But the moon is absolutely in the 5th house of Leo. So the moon's actually in Leo, home in the 5th house of Leo, with a Cancer ascendant, which rules the moon. I mean, it's not too far out, right? Look at the end of it's actually 26 degrees. The cusp of the 6th house is 26 degrees. And here we got Virgo. We have this whole entire Juno and Virgo thing. It's going to be a really interesting full moon to watch, guys. What's happening with those nodes, all right? As I said, there's a semi-sextile of the nodes of Uranus. Are the nodes throwing any other cool, funky angles? The nodes are throwing a funky angle to Mars and Mercury right now as well. So, woohoo! What happened there? Scrolled up. Sorry, guys. That hurt or what? That's Chicago once again. And here's Los Angeles. This is for the 16th. So it's really going to be interesting. I mean, when we look at Los Angeles on 2016, we had a Leo on the ascendant, right? And that's why they were talking about the Oscars and what have you. So and then the sun would have been in the 12th house. It's a whole entire different experience, right? So the stories are going to be different, but extremely similar because we're still dealing with. But it's going to be that was a Neptune. The moon was got a Neptune influence, and so for this year we're going to have for Los Angeles. Where the heck did you go? Here's Los Angeles again. Okay. So for this one, we have the moon in the Cancer in the 5th house of the house of the sun, okay? So we're going to look at this. We're going to actually look at this. Get hold of all your famous people, born from July 1st to born from July 23rd. Look for all your famous people born on. Follow all your famous people. People born on July 23rd to July 30th, and then January 20th to January 30th. Those are the people you want to follow on this one. We're going to look at these people, right? Because this is a big full moon. Look, guys. I mean, it's the moon of Leo, right? This full moon is the social high for the sun sign Leo. Social high of the year, because remember, this Aquarius time is the height of the Leo year. I mean, all Leos are on their way home now. They've made their halfway journey through the year now. This is the 7th house for Leos. And if you are other signs, it's quite simple, right? You just go from whatever sign you are. You count through the year. You pick up a book of Dane Rudy or Astrological Houses, right? And you read that book. You read that book every single day. That's my first year of reading Dane. I would read the Astrological Houses. I would read, a chapter for that month 30 times, right? Every single day for the entire month. From my birthday to the next birthday, I would read that house every single day. You do that for a year, and you think this way, right? I've never thought like it completely changed. Once I did that, it completely changed my way of thinking. I know I'm in that Aquarius time now, right? I know I'm in that social high now. But look, I'll let you go, and thanks for tuning in. I hope you got something out of this, and we only have a couple days to go, and I guarantee you it's going to be a great podcast. All the best. Over and